Hello, this is Dodie from Deliberate Aging. Welcome to my podcast. Hello friends, welcome back to the show. I'm really glad you're here. Today I'm going to tackle a topic with a very dramatic name. Sedentary Death Syndrome. But I promise you, this is not a fear fest. It's a clarity conversation. It's about understanding what long stretches of sitting do to our bodies and brains as we age, and more importantly, the tiny, compassionate choices that can turn the tide starting today. So, Sedentary Death Syndrome, or its acronym SeDS, isn't a formal diagnosis your doctor is going to write in your chart. It's a term researchers and health educators began using in the early 2000s to sound the alarm that physical inactivity is quietly fueling many chronic diseases and premature deaths. In other words, the modern chair-bound lifestyle is not neutral, it's erosive. So I want you to imagine this. Imagine there's two dials on your life dashboard. One dial is exercise, the weekly walk, the class at the Y, the dance that you do. And the other is sedentary time, the hours we sit, reclined, or not moving very much. Most people only think about the exercise dial. But here's the kicker. The sedentary dial matters independently. You can go for a brisk walk in the morning and still spend 9 to 10 hours sitting. And that sitting still drives your risk for health issues. So this episode is your invitation to turn both dials gently, consistently, and joyfully. So let's start by defining what sedentary really means. It's not exercising enough. That is not what sedentary means. Sedentary time means low energy, sitting, or reclined behaviors. Think TV, computer, reading, long drives, scrolling on your phone, long lunches, long meetings. It is not the same as simply skipping a workout. You can meet your exercise guidelines and still accumulate long, uninterrupted sitting time that harms your metabolic health, your circulation, and your muscle. So think of the body like a smart hybrid car. When we sit for long stretches, the idle mode is on. Blood sugar control worsens, fat-burning enzymes go quiet, muscles stiffen, and pressure builds in the back, hips, and neck. Messages between the gut and the brain slow. Even our mood can flatten. And over time, the risk adds up. Heart disease, diabetes, some cancers, frailty, and falls. So what are the big risks here? Well, number one, your heart and blood vessels. So long, uninterrupted sitting raises your blood pressure and impairs how our blood vessels relax. That's part of why breaking up your sitting, even with light walking, can lower blood pressure within a single day. Second, blood sugar and insulin. Imagine your muscle as a sponge that soaks up sugar from the bloodstream. When we sit for hours, that sponge hardens. Short movement snacks or exercise snacks, 1 to 5 minutes every 30 minutes, make that sponge springy again, lowering after-meal glucose and insulin. Thirdly, there's muscle and bone. Inactivity accelerates sarcopenia, which is age-related muscle loss. Less muscle means weaker balance, slower walking, and higher fall risk. Sedentary older adults show higher fall risk in population studies. Number 4, longevity. Large cohort studies consistently link more daily steps and less sedentary time with lower mortality, especially in older adults. In one study of women with an average age of 72, mortality dropped substantially, around 4,400 steps per day, and then plateaued near 7,500 steps per day. The translation here is that you don't need 10,000 steps every day to gain real benefit. Now, prolonged sitting bouts. It's not just how much you sit, it's how you sit. Long, unbroken bouts, say 60 to 90 minutes at a stretch, are especially risky. Break them up and the risk curve improves. So let's do a gentle self-check. Think about yesterday. Did you sit through breakfast, then read for an hour, then sit in the car, then sit at lunch, then watch TV after dinner? Did any of those sitting periods stretch past an hour without a stand-up break? If you're nodding yes, you're in very good company. Life is sitting. But now we see the hidden second dial. That awareness is the turning point. I like to say that you can't solve a problem until you recognize that there's a problem. So just become aware of how much you're sitting. So here's a simple evidence-backed pattern I want you to try. Number 1, keep or start your exercise habit. Think walking, strength classes, swimming, dancing, because structured activity still delivers big benefits. Number 2, break up sitting every 30 minutes. So stand, stroll to the mailbox, march in place for a minute, or do 5 heel raises by the sink. Studies show as little as 1 to 5 minutes of light walking every 30 minutes improves your blood sugar and lowers blood pressure the very same day. Number 3, count some of your steps. Don't chase perfection here, but celebrate progress. If you're averaging between 2,500 to 3,000, well, gently nudge it upwards to 4,000 to 6. That would be a powerful win for older adults. So let's do a quick check of our body systems. So let's first talk brain and mood. Light movement increases blood flow and nudges your brain chemicals that lift your mood and sharpen your attention. Many people report less afternoon fog when they do a 2-minute stroll every half an hour. Number 2, your back and your joints. Long sitting shortens your hip flexors, stresses discs, and stiffens ankles. Gentle interruptions re-lubricate your joints and reduce that first step ache. Number 3, let's talk metabolism. Well, movement turns on enzymes that help process fats and sugars. Sitting turns them down. The on-off switch is in your pocket, which is your legs. So, questions here. I walk 30 minutes most days. Isn't that enough? Well, keep going with that walk. It's great, but also chip away at long sitting spells. These are 2 separate levers and both matter for healthy aging. Question number 2. I can't stand easily. What do I do then? Well, chair-based snacks count. Do some ankle pumps, some heel-toe rocks, seated marches, posture resets, shoulder rolls, deep breathing to energize the nervous system. Question number 3. How long of a break do I need to take? Well, the studies tested 1 to 5 minutes for every 30 minutes of sitting. In real life, think of it as little and often. Set a gentle timer or piggyback breaks on daily cues, such as phone calls, TV ads, the end of an email. Question number 4, how many steps do I really need at my age? Well, the answer to that is there's no magic number. But in older adults, meaningful benefit shows up well below 10,000 steps per day. Work towards 4,400 to 7,500 on most days of the week. And celebrate every 500 step nudge. So, let's try a 7-day anti-sedentary jumpstart. This is your gentle, doable plan. Post it, print it, share it, and each day you'll build self-trust. So on day number 1, we'll call it Awareness Day. Track your sitting today. No judgment, just set a 30-minute stand reminder on your phone or watch. And the goal would be to break at least 8 sitting spells with a 1 to 3 minute stand or stroll. Day number 2, we'll call this Step Nudge. Add 1,000 steps to your typical day. Do it in little bites. It doesn't have to be done all at once. Maybe 300 after breakfast, 300 mid-afternoon, 400 after dinner. But the bonus here is maybe during TV, pause twice to do 8 to 10 sit to stands, maybe during commercial breaks, for example. Day number 3, We'll call this the post-meal magic. After every meal, do 2 to 5 minutes of easy walking in your home or outside. This one habit helps your blood sugar and your energy. On day 4, we'll call this mobility minis. Every time your 30-minute timer goes off, stand and do 30 seconds of heel raises plus 30 seconds of gentle hip circles. Your calves, ankles, and hips will love you for this. Then on day 5, let's sprinkle in some strength. So sprinkle 3 sets of 10 sit to stands through your day. So basically you sit in a chair and you stand up 10 times. Use your hands to assist as needed because strong legs equal confident balance. On day 6, let's take it outdoors. Take 2 10-minute outdoor walks, morning and afternoon if you can. If weather or access is tricky, do 10-minute indoor laps. And then on day 7, this is a pattern you can keep. Combine your favorite post-meal stroll plus sit to stands plus timer breaks. So creating this pattern and reflect what changed in your ease of standing, stiffness, energy, or mood over the past week. And make a tiny 2-item plan, say, for next week. Something easy, simple, that you're 90% sure that you can keep. And then, okay, starting today, let's nudge some gentle micro habits. The mug rule. How about every time you refill your coffee or tea mug, do something. Do 10 heel raises at the counter while you're waiting for the coffee to drain out of the coffee machine. Maybe a mailbox move. Every time you walk to the mailbox, you do it 2 times instead of 1. Once with the mail and once without. Call log. During calls, walk around. Hold the phone in one hand and then gently walk around your house or office. How about the TV? 2 pause. Pause twice per episode for a 90-second lap around your kitchen. Every time you walk through a doorway, do a stretch. Put your hands on the doorway, step through gently so you stretch your chest and hip. Hydrate and glide. So a glass of water every 2 to 3 hours and a 60-second stroll right afterwards. So now let's talk safety, personalization, and kindness. So check in with your body. If you use a cane, walker, or you have dizziness, prioritize safety. Hold a counter, walk a hallway, or do seated marches. And recognize pain versus discomfort. Expect gentle stiffness to ease as you move more. But sharp or worsening pain, you need to scale back and talk with your doctor. Now, perfection isn't invited. This is about nudges, not marathons. Consistency beats intensity. And finally, celebrate the ordinary. Folding laundry while you stand, watering your plants, playing with a dog, these are all activities that count. So, what is the payoff? Well, these are some quotes that I dug up on the internet. I don't groan when I stand up anymore. My afternoon slump is smaller. I feel prouder of myself, and that spills into other choices. My step count went from 2,800 to 5,200 without going to the gym. And lastly, I'm sleeping better. Now, these are big wins that ripple outward. So, we began talking about the 2 dials, the exercise dial and the sedentary. So let's return to those 2 dials. So today you don't need to overhaul your entire life. You only need to make inactivity a little less continuous and movement a little more frequent. So let me say that again. You only need to make inactivity a little less continuous and movement a little more frequent. Science says that's enough to start bending the curve on blood sugar, blood pressure, fall risk, and longevity. So here's your tiny assignment before we part. Set a gentle 30-minute reminder on your phone. When it chirps, stand and do something small. A lap, heel raises, deep breathing, then smile. You just turned both dials. You're not behind, you're beginning, and I'm here for you every step of the way. So remember, break up sitting every 30 minutes by doing something, some sort of light movement. After meals, do 2 to 5 minutes of easy walking. And aim for 4,400 to 7,500 steps a day as a realistic older adult target. More is great, only if it feels good. And avoid long, unbroken sitting bouts over 60 to 90 minutes. So personally, I feel very lucky. I do work for a company where we have often consecutive meetings throughout the day. In the past, they used to be 60-minute meetings. You'd go from one meeting directly into the next. But management decided it's more important for the employees to be healthy and to move. So now we've been told to only have meetings that are 50 minutes in length so that we can have a 10-minute break between consecutive meetings to get up and stretch our legs. So I'm calling that an exercise snack, and I'm using it whenever I get the chance. I make sure to stand up. I do whatever it is. Maybe I go into the kitchen and grab some water, or I just go for a little walk, or maybe I practice one of my dance moves. But I do try to practice what I preach and stand up every hour. I might not be as good as standing up every 30 minutes, but I definitely do it every 60 minutes. And I feel pretty good for it. When I am extremely busy and forget to stand up, I notice the minute that I do stand out of my chair and start to move, I feel really stiff. I don't feel as well. So that is a signal my body is sending me, and I'm trying to really pay attention and dial into that and give my body what it needs, which is movement. So I hope you'll join me and you'll do the same. Thanks for listening. This is Dodie from Deliberate Aging. Until next time, be well, friends. This podcast is presented solely for informational and educational purposes only. Use of information from this podcast is at the user's own risk. It is not intended as a substitute for the advice of your physician or other qualified professional. We are not responsible for any losses, damages, or liabilities that may arise from use of this podcast.